nobody from outside bringing down the property value. It's these folks shooting each other and selling that crack rock and...
That's why we're always competing with each other. And we got a big issue of self-hate that is always the elephant in the room. And we've gotten so bad that the women and the men compete with each other now.
What if I told you that some of the biggest music companies are in cahoots with private prison owners? And that the rap music we listen to is not only meant to entertain, but to verbally and visually support criminal behaviors that funnel disenfranchised people into these private prisons.
Chicago police says there has been 1,209 people shot so far this year in 2021. Out of the 1,200, 108 of them has been children and 16 people have died so far. So far this year, more than 15,000 people died of gun violence in the U.S. this year alone. And the year is not even halfway finished yet. God damn! Most of this gun violence is happening in the inner cities. By who? You guessed it, black people. We worrying about the police killing us or the corona killing us when we should be worried about us killing us. This is genocide we witnessing due to the mass brainwashing, manipulation through our entertainment like music, movies, and then there's the mass amount of drugs and guns being distributed on our corners. We got poverty and no resources for proper education, all courtesy of Uncle Sam himself.
We are not the people who are flying and floating that shit in here. I know every time you turn on the TV, that's what you see. Black people selling the rock, pushing the rock, pushing the rock. Yeah, I know.
Shit! They set the trap and we fall right into it. Why you think they call selling drugs trapping out a trap house? Cause it's a goddamn trap, you stupid motherfuckers. Stop doing it.
Man, sit your ass down.
I mean, if you think about it, they don't need to send the police in the hood to kill us. We're doing it ourselves. Shit, we abort half our babies in the black community. Don't believe me? Here's the clip.
Unfortunately, abortion is so much a part of our world culture. What certain groups are targeted by the abortion industry?
Definitely the African American community. I think that it's a travesty and it's really devastating our community. It's gotten to the point where in inner cities, especially where the Planned Parenthood and the abortion facilities they set up camp there, where abortion is up to 50% in most cities, and in New York City, we just heard 60% of all abortions are performed on black women.
We got poor diets of oodles and noodles, Popeye's chicken, McDonald's, cheap alcohol, cigarettes, and salty-ass poisonous Chinese store chicken wing platters with either the fries, fried rice, or the rice and gravy. Like I said, they set them up and we knock them down.
About the youth population, you know, there's some reports that have suggested that it's possible that this may be the first generation that doesn't necessarily outlive their parents. And that's a very concerning and sort of provoking thought. If we don't reduce risk for future cardiovascular disease, for future diabetes in our pediatric population, in our young adult population, as these individuals grow and mature, as they enter into adulthood, as they enter into the workforce, and they have chronic disease that comes along with them, then that will reduce their productivity. We won't have as healthy members of society. They'll be at risk for developing complications that go along with those diseases.
Yum! They're magically delicious!
If you watch TV, then these ads are familiar. But according to a recent study, African American and Hispanic consumers in the U.S. are disproportionately exposed to ads promoting junk food. The Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity at the University of Connecticut found that of the more than $1 billion spent annually on advertising to blacks and Hispanics, 86% of spending targeting black consumers and 82% aimed at Hispanics was for junk food and sugary drinks.
I've been at this for a long time, and I was amazed, not just in television advertising, but social media advertising, video games, and et cetera, et cetera. And it really caught me off guard.
The advertising blitz isn't the only problem facing low-income communities of color. There's also a lack of quality food options. These areas are called food deserts, a place where there are no good grocery stores or healthy restaurants. Instead, these areas are overrun by fast food restaurants and convenience stores.
Though it's a contributing factor in the mass genocide of black people, I feel like the media focusing in on just the police killing black people is taking away the attention of what's really going on here, which is us being our worst goddamn enemies.
What? Right here. What's poppin', Kermit?
Aight, nigga, you clean now.
Let's set the record straight and hear me out. It's not the KKK, it's not the Trump supporters, it's us in our crab in a bucket mentality. Let me ask you a question, black people. When you lock your doors at night or lock your car doors, you do it so Trump supporters won't break in or so Negroes don't break in? Who you more worried about breaking in your shit? And be real, keep it a bean now. Let me ask you another question. When you packing your Mac in the back of the act, who are you carrying protection for? The KKK, the police, or them Negroes around the corner who be eyeballing you sideways every time you walk by them?
Tired of them. Get your ass up out the car, nigga. Get the fuck out. Break yourself, nigga. Break yourself.
Another reason why we are worst enemies is due to the fact we the only race where our men and women are competing against each other in our own goddamn households.
So in most other races, the men might compete with each other, but the man and the woman don't compete. You ain't never seen no Chinese woman compete with no Chinese man. You ain't never seen no white man compete with no white woman. But in our community, it's literally everyone's competing with everybody else. So you got a husband and a wife, they competing with each other.
That type of ignorance shit only take place in our toxic ass households, where the independent, I don't need no nigga chick reside. But be quick to take your black behind the court for child support, where the system be waiting so they can sink their blood-sucking teeth into another Negro's behind. Shit. This shit just fucked up my mind. Losers. Slackers. My black brothers. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm not letting y'all off the hook that easy neither. Stop knocking these so-called strong, independent black women up and then bouncing. You knew she was crazy before you dipped your Chico stick in her honey pot. And ladies, you knew he was a no good, no plan or job having shiftless Negro when you let him dig you out. He wasn't a bum nigga when you was letting him blow your back out like a goddamn birthday candle. Now was he? Oh, you couldn't resist cause he was fresh out the can, huh? Looking good with that get out of jail glow. Shit. Loser. Slackers. Now, let's not take the focus off this government psyop behind all this goddamn buffoonery. The weaponized gangster rap used to boost the private industrialized prison complex. That's right, Curry Gang. The record company shareholders also own the prisons. The very prisons they love to send your black asses. You need proof? Here's the clip.
Ever wonder why you see the same stereotypes of black and brown people depicted in hip-hop music? What if I told you that some of the biggest music companies are in cahoots with private prison owners, and that the rap music we listen to is not only meant to entertain, but to verbally and visually support criminal behaviors that funnel disenfranchised people into these private prisons? Lastly, what if I told you I have proof? In 2012, Core Civic, formerly known as Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest name in the private prison industry, contacted 48 states offering to buy their prisons. One requirement of eligibility for the deal was particularly strange: an assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a minimum 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. Wait, Traggy? What? What kind of legal and ethical measures could be taken to ensure the maintenance of a 90% prison occupancy rate? Now let's work together to connect these things, because I'm sure you're a smart person. It won't be long. Let's do the work. In 2012, a mere 232 media executives were responsible for the intake of 277 million Americans, controlling all avenues necessary to manufacture any celebrity and spark any trend. Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, can not only sign an artist, but since they're also owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover by next week. You think you choose what you listen to, but do you? Both BET and MTV belong to Viacom. Okay, now I know that's not news to some, but when the use of these media conglomerates is cross-checked with ownership of the biggest names in prison privatization, it's starting to get a little fishy. The largest holder in CoreCivic, formerly Corrections Corp of America, is Vanguard Group Incorporated.
So the convict lease system was, prisoners, legitimate workforce, right? They're prisoners, so the convict lease system, in essence, it was the primer and the precursor to what we know now as the private prison corporation, the private prison industry.
Prisons is booming. Private industry. You could own one yourself. You could pick a town, build one and own one. Private. What do you think they're doing with prisons? They making everything that's in this room. They making in the prison. They making shit you ain't even seen before in the prison. They cut up your meat. Your meat, if you eat chicken down south, Winn-Dixie, Piggly Wiggly, your chicken and your beef is getting cut up in the meat in the factory. They make toys. Upstate, they making toys. They make your little race cars for your kids. They make everything.
I've been in jail. My brothers is in jail. They make license plates. They make tables. They make engines to car. They make every thing that you see on the streets in the penitentiary, and they get crumbs for that shit. The white folks is manufacturing is in warehouse. That's all that shit is. It's a clock in, clock you come out, you work, and you make us some license plates. You make us some tires. You make us some rims. You make speaker boxes. They make all that shit in the penitentiary, man. From dishes to covers.
If you mean to tell me these people can make an unbiased decision whether or not, when you go to the parole board, whether to let their free labor go or not, of course they're gonna say, oh yeah, hit them, give them 2 more years, yeah.
The private prison corporations go to the legislators and say, we're gonna solve your overcrowding problem. We have a prison built already, and you just need to give us the bodies and give us a sum of money per head per day. Okay, so it is this immaculate conception and partnership between the private and the public sector to perpetuate the system of modern day slavery.
If jails become businesses, what do you have to do? You have to market for your business. And who are you marketing? Me being a business major, you have to have your target audiences. And who are your target audiences? My people.
They doing a number on us, Curry gang. And mind you, this is all fact, no fiction. It's not one lie or theory in this shit that I'm saying. I don't even want to get into the Tuskegee experiments or the destruction and murders that happened on Black Wall Street in Tulsa. We got Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, all this murder and mayhem done to us, and none of this still have shit on what we are currently doing to ourselves. I'ma conclude with this. The evidence beyond the benefit of a doubt shows black lives really do not matter to black people in 2021. And this is a sad, 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 sad truth. And it hurts my heart to have to say this, Curry gang, but it's all 100% truth. We out. Peace.